Lego My Jameso. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Lego My Jameso. I'm not going to be wearing the Lego shirt today. I'm sorry. I need to actually get some plain color, fun Lego colored t-shirts. All my t-shirts have writing on them or they're long sleeve, and it's hot out today, so I don't want to wear a long sleeve. All right, so before it starts to rain here, I'm going to start stripping some of this lumber. That way we can get to our build today. I said I was going to do this into 3 sections in last week's video, but all of my other boards I'm using are 3/4 inch thick, so I want to try and maintain that thickness. So I'm going to split this in half versus 3 half inch sections. All right, I'm not gonna lie, that was the first time I did that where I had to send it through, flip it over and send it through. Normally I've stripped boards when they're probably like 2 inches thick, but this is 3.5. So overall, I think it came out not too bad. You know, I'm gonna hit it with a sander and kind of level this out, make it even and nice and smooth. But overall, if you want, you could either have the nice clean side that is like the store cut, factory cut one, be where your track is on, or if you'd rather see that, then you could do this, and then your track being up on here would be fine. And likewise, I always recommend sanding and painting it. With my first train setup, I used 1 sheet of plywood, and I cut it in multiple ways to use everything and to just minimize buying another sheet at the time. So where I had the train going onto the diagonal bridge, I did this curvature design because it came along my straight wall and then it curved, but then it curved around even more to go diagonally across the room. And this is the section that was part of the bridge. Then over in the other corner, I had used just one of these, and instead of, you know, measuring it out and drawing a nice curve, I just wanted to use straight cuts because I was using the handsaw. So I just did this design, and when I matched up boards, especially like over here, when I had run another board, that one would have a, you know, a triangular or diagonal cut as well to then fit in here, because then this track kind of curved around. Over here you can see that the track can't have much play to it. It has to stay relatively straight, but having, you know, just that little extra on each side helps a lot, I find. So for this build, I'm using 2 sets of rail. The switches here are just for an example to kind of measure up where the track is going to be and to keep it in line. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to leave additional space over here from along this wall because I'm probably going to have larger train cars and engines on this build. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out this section, and I'm also just going to do you know, straight cut, diagonal, straight. So yes, that's what we're gonna do. I'm using these scrap sheets of plywood I've had these for a long time. I've used them for many different projects. I've actually hung my original drawer bins on them in the original James Brick warehouse, but now they're painted white because I had them from tables I used to have, and now they're ready to be cut up and used for this build. I plan on building the train today and the coming week and getting the video series done to help you, and then at some point I'm going to remove everything and paint it either probably the colors of the wall or everything white. Also, the cost of plywood went up, and I just didn't want to buy more sheets of it, so I'm going to use this. I'm going to use what I have. The board that meets up with this is 9¼ inches, so I'm going to do that, 9¼ and then likewise over here, it's going to be 9¼ Here I'm just taking measurements and laying out the track. I always put it on the board first before I cut anything, and I give a rough drawing around it, and I make sure to leave space on both sides. Tracing where the track goes allows you to always know that you're cutting in the right location. It'd be awful to cut somewhere and then realize you cut something too short and need to go buy more material. If you've seen other videos of mine, you might know by now that I talk while I'd work on things. I just talk to myself. I'm crazy, and I need to learn to stop doing it.
I'm using this cordless saw for this.
All right, so we cut these. They're not perfect, but they'll work well for now. I'm not a great carpenter, but I have enough skill to work with lumber and make something to work for me. People are gonna look at your Lego train. They're not gonna look at your experience with putting it up there. The most important thing is making sure it's structural and that the train doesn't fall down. Next thing I need to do is clear this wall. All right, so the wall is cleared for the most part. Sorry, woodworking, you sweat a lot because it's hard work. All right. So I have a pipe over there that comes out of the ceiling, and at its lowest point, it's 6 inches off my ceiling. Lego trains are typically between 4 to 5 inches in height. I'm accounting for 6 inches because I might or may not build custom trains. I might have a larger train that goes up there. So I'm gonna do 12 inches off the ceiling, and that'll come right down to here. And that'll be where the top of my wood will be. I'll hang the corner section first, and when that's in place, I'm going to run one stretch this way and one stretch this way. All right, so I'm using 3/4 inch board for most of the runs, and because I decided to use the plywood that I had for the corners, this is only 1/2 inch and this is 3/4 inch, so I needed to have a 1/4 inch variation. So I went outside and cut this another sheet of wood I had. So I'll use this as shims, or just spacers, so to say, to keep these around the same height. When you're dealing with curved rail, when a Lego train's trying to turn, if there's any variations in that height of the track, it can derail because the front of the engine, 2 of the wheels might hop off and the other 2 try and turn, and then the whole train could fall off. So I find having very little imperfections around corners is very important, where when you go straight for a long stretch, you can make the train angled up or down, however you prefer. All right, there we have it, the first section of the Lego ceiling train, or wall train, whatever you want to say. So now I'm going to take these long pieces of lumber that are 8 foot, or 1 inch by 10 inches by 8 feet, and I'm going to run one of them this way. I'm sweating, but I'm going to take this board, I'm going to balance it on there and go measure it over there. And yeah, I'm going to do that. We'll see if I fall or get hurt or something. The better way is probably take your tape measure, hold it from there, and go mark the appropriate length on this end. Well, because of the weather, this is essentially what you need to do to get yourself started. Honestly, it's not that bad. It's just time consuming. It'll help to have somebody with you. And overall, it's going to be really cool when this is done. So I can't cut anymore with the weather outside. Oh no. Next week, I'm going to show you how to do the bridge across the ceiling. No promises on the build being done. I might need an additional week on that. So, yeah. Here's how it looks. Look at how nice that is. It's pretty good, I think. So I screwed in this side here. That's because I have this board attached now. But this side over here, I did not yet. And I won't attach that until I run my next board this way. When that's perfect and attached to there, then I'll anchor this corner piece in. But sometimes you can adjust it a little to get, you know, tighter tolerances or a smoother line. Like, look at, that's pretty good, I think. So I hope this was helpful. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you soon. And don't forget, tune in on Friday for helping you create your own Bricklink store, and tune in Saturday for all set reviews. Well, I guess we'll continue this next week. So use some helpful tips in today's video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to see more videos, I'll definitely get it done in 5 parts, but we might not make the 4-part video. I'm sorry, guys. Well, I'll see you next week. And now, a word from our sponsors.